Welcome to the Seer Show. Join us as we dive into the dynamic world of health, wellness, mindset, and fitness with the unparalleled guidance of lifelong knowledge seekers, Sifu Rafael and Nikki Gangemi. Sifu and Nikki will unlock groundbreaking insights with extraordinary guests from around the globe. You'll get the latest holistic approaches to well-being with a sharp focus on the powerful connection between mind, body, and soul. Get ready to take the leap. It's time to embrace a brighter and healthier future with us at the Seer Show.
We are live, Nikki. We are live. Look at that. I am so grateful for you.
Good morning. Well, thank you, Sifu. I'm grateful for you too.
Yeah.
And how are you this fine morning?
I am exceptional and getting better every day. And you know that was coming, right?
I did. I wait for it, but I love to hear it. It's a great reminder that we're always getting better and better.
Yes. I love today's topic, and we have two exceptional human beings who are going to be joining us. And it's the Reinvention Advantage.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be a great conversation because we were talking earlier how we all reinvent ourselves almost daily, right? So let's go ahead and without any waste of time, let's bring them on. Coach Dan and Tina. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Nikki and Tina. This is fantastic to be here. I am so thrilled to get started. Let's dive in. What do you say?
Me too. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Go ahead, Coach Dan. Tell us about the Reinvention Advantage that you have taken.
Well, I think my most profound reinvention happened about 7 years ago, when I found myself on the floor of my little tiny Los Angeles bungalow in a pool of tears, having a breakdown because I had just lost my marketing company. I had lost over $100,000, and I had lost my entire sense of self, my being. And having come from the personal development world and taught personal development courses, the thing that I knew, even in that desperate moment, the thing that I knew is that somehow I had invited that into my life. Like, nothing happens to us, everything happens for us, right? And so the question that I had to ask myself is, why did I want this, right? Why did I bring this in? And the answer was like a miracle. And the answer was, I hate marketing. Right? That was my business. I hate marketing. I'm just good at it. But it was never supposed to be a career, right? Marketing had become like a golden barred prison cell. And losing the company was my jailbreak. And that was the recognition, right? That's why I brought it into my life. I wanted to get out of that business, and I wanted to be back in the business of changing people's lives. And that meant, get out of marketing and get back into personal development, but instead I did business development. And so ever since then, well, I'll just jump to the end of that story, was that 8 months later, almost from the day that happened, I walked out on stage in Dallas, Texas, being paid $10,000 for my very first speaking gig, right? And so going from the floor to the stage was the ultimate act of recreation, reinvention, and really discovering or rediscovering who I am and who I want to be in the world. And that, something that I share with everybody that I work with is that we create our lives for a reason, for a higher purpose, a greater purpose. And that when we allow ourselves to plug into that purpose instead of resisting it, that's where the miracles happen.
Love it. Love it.
That's great.
A pool of tears turns into a transformation.
Well said. Yeah.
A transformation that you needed but didn't know until you went through that particular event. And it's so apparent to everyone outside, but the internal people, they're like, no, I'm good, right?
It's so funny.
Thank
And
you.
all my friends, everyone who knew me, were like, "Thank God you got out of that stupid marketing thing that was never supposed to be you." Like I thought I was doing great, making money, and I'm a big shot and everything. But everybody who knew me, just like you said, Sifu, knew that that was not the right path.
Interesting.
Tina, my dear, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and share and learn and meet Coach Dan. Wow, reinvention. I loved it when I saw that because I'm reinventing myself right now as we speak. Going through being an employee to being laid off and becoming an entrepreneur. That was my first transition where I really discovered that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to work for someone else. So I started my journey in helping others, other women, particularly who are in a transition and don't want to be stuck to that job. But along the way, not only helping women find their passion, but, life brings us, those challenges, those obstacles, and, going through divorce, recently going through a divorce and finding myself for the first time as not only an empty nester, but that singlehood that I've never been on my own, truly. So I'm reinventing myself right now because learning to be on my own, truly being on my own, financially, emotionally. And so I'm making shifts in my life. And so one thing I'm doing is I'm making life shifts. I'm navigating through the life shifts and I'm helping. Now I want to help other women who are going through different life shifts. So I started helping women with their careers and starting a business, but now it's more than that. It's deeper. I've gone through the loss of a child, so I know about grief. So I have the scars, the experiences to share my journey with other individuals. And so that's why reinvention for me, I just see it bigger now, where helping others really, how do we navigate through our life? How do I help them with their confidence and heal? Because I am healing right now. How do I move forward with this uncertainty? And there was a lot of fear to navigate this divorce that I just happened in January. So it's really new for me. So it's exciting and yet scary. There are days that are like, because I initiated it. I created it. That's it. I ended it. So for me, it's like, wow, why did I do this? I could have stayed in the misery. I could have stayed in the comfort, but I chose to be uncomfortable because I chose Tina. For the first time, I chose to love me. And that's really where I am right now, is loving Tina, because I've been a famous people pleaser, the good wife, the good daughter, the good everything. But now I want to be that badass that Coach Dan. It's time for Tina to be a badass. Not in a bad way, but in a different way. Nothing wrong.
I got to say, when you said transition, a word came into my brain, and it was transportation.
Transportation.
It's when you're going from one place to the other, right? Even when somebody transforms, they're going from one place or one sense of being to the next sense of being. So think of transportation, right? We take transportation all the time, but we also take it for granted. And we get in our car, we expect it to start. We don't even look at our mirrors anymore. We just know we get in, the radio's blasting, blah, blah, we're just doing it. But it's about paying attention. And I think that transition is about paying attention. Transformation is about paying attention to what is truly going on. And when we actually do that, it's really incredible. And that's why you're loving Tina. And when I got to meet you in New York, it was incredible. So yes, and guess what? We love Tina too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yes, I'm starting to love me more.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
we're
love.
on similar.
I was just
What?
going to say, I love Sifu when you said transportation. I wrote that down because we are. It's. I never thought of it that way. Yeah,
Me
that's a good.
neither, till you said it.
I love it. I love
It just unfolded.
So,
it.
Nikki, you've got to some transitions and transformation, and even your own transportation, if you will, because you used to live by where Dan lives. So, talk to
Yes.
us about that.
Yes, I did a 1 year stint in LA in Culver City, and it was the best year of my life. But I've reinvented myself a few times. I've made some pivots, I usually say, from actress to teacher to entrepreneur. My biggest reinvention was like Coach Dan 7 years ago. And I too found myself on the floor, except it was my kitchen floor, crying, thinking, how did I end up at 40 here? And I'm so unhappy. So I think before that, that breakthrough, there is this breakdown, and I think many of us are brought to our knees on the floor. So that was the year that I resigned from my teaching job. I had spent 15 years doing something that felt like I was a square peg in a round hole. And I made the decision to do the second act of my life my way. And that brought me into my business. And honestly, I feel like I'm going through an internal reinvention right now where nothing has changed on the outside, but I feel like I'm reinventing myself, if that makes sense.
That makes
Yes,
total.
you are.
Love that. I love that internal that you mentioned, Nikki, because that's really where I feel right now is that internal. And people may not see it, but it's definitely happening. That there are days that I sit back and I'm like, I've made quite a change, and I'm proud of it, even though it was scary, to get to this place where I am. And I'm still, still there's moments, like I said, why did I do this? Why did I do this? It was comfortable. So there are days that I'm very uncomfortable in my situation, but I'm doing it. I'm proving that I'm doing it, and it's working.
Yeah, it feels really good.
It does. It does. There's days that I'm really more celebrating than not celebrating. Even my family sees it. They're like, I can't believe it. Because I'm in my late 60s, and to make this decision, and like for the first time, it's scary. It's like, wow, why am I where I am today? But there's a reason, and I love it. Like you said, that we create our lives. This is happening for me, that it needed to be done. So a lot of times when we're reinventing ourselves, we're thinking that it's a bad thing, but no, we're growing. And I believe, I'm a believer in God, and I feel that this is plan. I'm meant to be on this journey, and who knows what's next.
Yes. Yes. I was walking yesterday in the neighborhood and I saw the numbers 2525 3 separate times on my walk. So I went home and I looked it up. What does the number 2525 mean? Like, angel number, numerology, like whatever. I find that interesting as signs that we're on the right path. And it meant massive change is about to happen, and to embrace it and trust that even if it doesn't feel like it's the right thing in the moment, trust that it is for your highest good. So I feel like that was kind of what we're talking about this morning.
I love that. I wrote that down. 2525. I usually the numbers that come up for me are 1111.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So do yourself a favor, Nikki. Look up the number 3, and then look up the number 75, because you saw it 3 times and it was 25, right? So it adds up to 75. So do yourself a favor and check that out. See if that means anything. What I love about what you talked about is that internally you're changing. No one else sees it, but that's the beginning, right? It's the communication that we have internally that really pushes the transformation, the transition, starts even the planning, the transportation, if you will. And it's that internal dialogue that we have every day, the self-belief, the self-love. And a lot of people have internal dialogue, but it's negative. It's negative. It's the wrong thing. I'm no good. I'm not worthy. I can't do that. Cut that crap out. Cut it out.
You know,
We built for greatness. Go
I
ahead,
love what
Coach
you say
Dan.
about that, Sifu. You know, something that I share with people a lot is that that internal dialogue, the negative stuff, isn't there to hurt you. It's actually trying to help you. It's trying to keep you safe. So when the internal dialogue, you know, even when it says horrible things, you know, you're a loser, you'll never amount to anything, you know, you're a phony. It's actually trying to keep you safe. Because what is the end product of those thoughts? Well, the end product is don't do anything. Just sit in your home, watch TV, you know, eat, just don't do anything. That's safety. And our brains, the amygdala, the oldest part of our brain, is geared towards safety, right? It is geared to keep this biological being alive. And so what it believes is that as long as we have a roof over our head, food in our belly, and love in our hearts, don't do anything, just keep it going. Right? And so that's how we're geared. And so when we start pushing the edges, it looks for ways to keep us safe, to keep us, you know, centered. And an easy way to do it is to frighten us from doing new things. And that's when we got to engage this bigger part of our brain, right? The prefrontal cortex, and go, okay, I hear you. I understand that you're frightened. I know that you're trying to keep me safe. Thank you. Right? So don't fight with that part of yourself. Appreciate it, because it's just trying to help you. Thank it, and then say, I got us. You know, sort of like a little kid in a thunderstorm, right? Who's beating on your door. You know, Mom, Dad, I'm scared, right? You don't yell at the kid, right? Because if you yell at him, it's just going to be worse. You open the door, you give him a hug. I know it's really scary out there, but we have this beautiful house and it's safe, and we never do anything that's going to hurt you, right? That's the way that you want to talk to those negative thoughts. They're just scared. They're just trying to help you. They're trying to alert you that something's going on that could be dangerous. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know, for reminding me I'm doing something scary. I want you to know I got us. We're going to be okay. And that methodology has helped me through those darker times. And now I have a really good functional relationship with those darker thoughts that come to me.
I like that.
Yes. So good. I did that yesterday. Yesterday was a profound walk for me. As I was walking in the neighborhood, I felt this moment of happiness. I was like, wow, like I felt ease and flow. And then a bad thought came into my mind, like something bad happening to a loved one. And I did what Coach Dan said, because I do practice that. And I said, thank you, subconscious mind, for trying to protect me. I know that that was a protection in the past. Thank you. And now I've got it. You know, it's okay to be happy. It's safe to feel good. What I'd like for you to do is to give you a new role and help me with that. Help me to feel like it's okay to be happy and safe. And I just changed the thought around just like that. So it does help to just talk to yourself like that, you know, like a parent would to a child, and just kind of redirect it, give it a new role to play.
Nice.
I love that. The redirecting, the reframing, you know, when you're having that negative thought, and say, okay, you're right. I got this. I'm okay. Everything, you know, one thing I say every day is everything is always working for me. It's always flowing to me. It's coming my way. I'm attracting what I want. Everything is flowing with ease. So I'm sharing that internally. I'll say it out loud. Everything's always working. I don't know how, but it's working. Everything's flowing. It's going to be a great day. You know, it's going to be a great day. So like even last night in my community, I said, you know, you have to embrace opportunity. So, when you reached out to me, Nikki, about being here today, I said, wow, what a great opportunity. Sure, I'll go on. And I was sharing it to my community. I said, I advise you, when you have an opportunity, take advantage of it. You just never know where it's going to go. Don't be afraid. Don't be, nervous. Just go with it. And you just don't know who you're going to meet, who you're going to connect with, what message will resonate with someone. There'll be something that we're sharing today that will resonate with one person. And they'll say, wow, I didn't think of that. Like today, transportation. I didn't think of transportation. That was like, okay, good way to look at it.
I think one of the most important things that we as we continue to grow is to have the openness for opportunities like you did, Tina, the openness to have a new thought, to allow things to come in and say, I never thought of it that way, but let me hold on to it for a minute. Let me think about it. How can I reshape it to serve me in a positive way? How can I help the world I live in? Because when it's all about me, we forget about you. And so one of the things that I'm always looking at is people. I'm a people watcher. I got to tell you, it's better than television. It's way better than a movie. It's better than anything. Just go out in public and watch people. And it's very, very interesting. And then you can make up your own dialogue if they're far away from you. Ooh, I think they're talking about this or that, right? So you can kind of get an idea, because all of a sudden you're learning what body language does. You're looking at interactions. You're looking at how people treat one another. And you're learning lessons from everyone that you meet along the way. For example, you can look at a child and see how they interact with their parent. If it's a loving relationship or if it's a scared relationship, because maybe the parents are very domineering and they're like, you do what I say, and kind of mean, where instead of a loving relationship, it's a give and take, right? Because to me, I see children as just older versions of, when I see a child and I see an adult, I see the same person, if you will, right? It's just the adult forgot how to care, forgot how to love, forgot how to question. And the beauty of children is, why? How come? What? Why? Why are you doing that? Why is the sky blue? What? And then, of course, children are going to tell things that you don't want anyone to know, because they know and they want to share. So they'll say, yeah, my mom's 38. And mom's like, oh, shh, So, but children are such a beauty that we forget that inside of us is a child. So I am a Toys R Us kid, people. I'm a Toys R Us kid. I will always love to have fun. And anybody who knows me, yeah, I may look calm and relaxed, but man, I can break out dancing and I love it.
Yes, you can. I got to see it in person.
You did, huh?
A split right on the dance floor.
Wow, really? Oh gosh.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that with what you do.
Sifu, I really love what you shared, because a couple of weeks ago, I did a presentation at a company here in LA. They hired me to teach their people presentation and public speaking skills, right? And so in the workshop, one of the things that I shared with them is that no one is shy, right? We're all natural performers, right? When we were kids, we were always performing. Right, like a baby never says, "Oh, I'm hungry, I want to cry, but I don't want to bother anybody. I'm a little shy." Right, and so then the big question is, what happens? Like, what happens to us? Like, when do we go from that to being so careful? And of course, we get socialized, right? We can't live our lives just demanding what we want all the time. But it's to have access to that, right? To allow ourselves access to that, to be able to, like a volume knob, to turn up the volume of who we are and how we are, and then be able to turn it back down again, right? And so in helping them with public speaking, it was to allow them the freedom to get up there on stage and be full themselves, right? To be all of who they are, to allow themselves to be silly, to make mistakes, to be non-judgmental about it. And that's, I think that's what you're talking about, Sifu, to have access to that, right? To connect with that part of ourselves that is full and free and loving and is less concerned about the impact of how we are and more concerned about just how we are, being who we are.
I love what you said, Coach Dan, being who you are. Because what I've done a lot of my years is not be who I am, always thinking that if I'm going to say the wrong thing, or, like being vulnerable for me was something that I would never be, because I thought it was a weakness to share being vulnerable, but it's actually a good thing. And so, yeah, being who I really am, being my authentic self. And there are going to be people that may not like it. And that was something that I was like, I don't know if I'm saying something that people are not going to like, they're going to judge. But, I think that freely sharing who you are and the right people will be there to attract.
And we all want it. Yeah, we all want it. We all want closeness. We all want connection. And we're all waiting for the other person to drop their armor first. And what I found is that I've had the most interesting conversations on trains and planes and in line at the grocery store because I'll take the lead. I ask people personal questions. And what I found is that people want to answer them. So when I ask someone, hey, I have an unusual question. What's your favorite thing about yourself? I've never had someone go, oh, I can't believe you asked me that. People go, wow, that's such an interesting question. And, I'll share what I like about, my favorite thing about myself. They share, and then the conversation just goes deeper and deeper. And what I found fascinating is how quickly people open up and share, how quickly they want to be known, because we all have that in us. We're a social species. Biologically, we are geared to be connected with each other. And so you give people just the slightest opening and the safety to share those parts of themselves, and they take it like that. And I've asked probably thousands of people that question. What's your favorite thing about yourself? What do you love about yourself? What do you love about what you do? Not what do you do? What's your job? What's your business? But what do you love about what you do? And when I ask those questions, people just light up. Give it a try. You guys, for people listening, give it a try. Ask someone, what do you love about what you do? What's your favorite thing about yourself? Watch them light up.
Yes. Yeah, those are great questions.
That's really a great question. One of the things, as I was talking about shifting and everything that I'm going through and done, and is that I'm going to be creating a new community where I'm going to be bringing women in to have conversations, just real conversations about what's going on, what shifts are they going through, what is going on, and just come and share. I think I like that question. I'm going to ask that question. I'm launching it next week. Our first meeting will be next Wednesday. And it's a great way to just bring that up.
Yes.
I like,
get that question asked.
Yeah, I like the getting to know somebody and asking them personal questions. The one that I always get pushback on is, what's your credit card number? I'm just kidding. That's personal. What's your social security number? No, but when we ask engaging questions, it makes a difference. And as professional speakers and so forth, like I know that you and I are, and everybody here, everybody is a speaker, right? Because we all learned when we were one also. We all learned how to speak. And here's the cool thing. We all learned how to negotiate as we got older. And then we stopped negotiating. We stopped negotiating because people think that, oh, I can't ask for something. So that's a negotiation. When you ask on a date, when you ask for something, when you ask, can you pass me the water? That's negotiation, right? because somebody can say no. Can you pass me the water? No. Why not? So it's a conversation that you have to continue going with. But we all learned how to become speakers, but someone along the way told us to be quiet. Don't speak. We don't want to hear you. And we do that to kids, and I hate that. And a lot of times, because I teach children, I teach the children to ask questions, and I say to them, never stop asking. And then they'll ask me 500 questions, and I'm like, great, bring it on, bring it on. So the most important thing that we have to do with our children or our neighbors' children or our family's children is to encourage questions. But the same thing happens to adults, because so many adults don't ask the questions. They're just like, how you doing? That's not a question. Because if you really wanted to know, you would ask me a better question, right? So consider when we have the intimate conversations. And Coach Dan, you said it perfectly. It can get deeper and deeper, but if you ask open-ended questions, are you fine? Yes. That's it. It's done.
It's surprising.
So we have to consider the conversations have to go deeper if we want to engage, right? That's the most important and the most critical part, engagement.
When you say want to engage, say a little more about that, Sifu. That's interesting.
If I want to know more about you, I can't just say, hey, what do you do for a living? Because that's only a tiny little portion of who you are. So if I want to engage you, what's the one thing that you failed at that you would like to change? If you had a chance, if you can go back 10 years, how would you change knowing what you know now? What would you tell your younger self? So these are different ways of communicating with someone to get where their head is at, right? Because when we are surface level surfing, if you will, we're only going to get that. But like you talked about, going deeper, asking questions that really make somebody think about who they are, they start to develop this, oh, wow, I can actually have trust in you because you care. So I'm going to tell you something maybe I never told someone. I've had people on my shows tell me my mom watched the show and now she knows something she never knew about. I'm like, look at that. Because it's when you build trust, people are more open. But when there's no trust, it's hard to get that.
Very true.
I do a lot of sales training, and one of the core foundational elements is exactly what you're talking about. It's not uncovering somebody's pain points. It's not convincing them of something. It's not overcoming objections. It's building trust. And I hate most of the sales training out there, because most of the sales training isn't really designed to teach you how to sell. It's only designed to sell you sales training. So it completely bypasses the foundational elements of what selling is. And that's being influential. It's being helpful. It's moving someone through their fears so they can be happily engaged with your product or service. And that's not about, like the classic term, oh, he can sell ice to Eskimos. Oh, he's a great salesman. That's a terrible salesman. Eskimos don't need ice. They need snowmobiles and gloves and coats, right? So if you're a really good salesperson, that's what you're selling Eskimos, right? But you have to engage with the person, right? You have to be willing to be open, to hear them, to surrender your desire of what you're selling to really better understand them. And the funny thing is, it's going to sound weird. It's not about being nice and respectful and going, oh, you can make a decision when you're ready. Because we don't when we have to do something to help ourselves, we often don't do it because we're scared. And so the role as a salesperson is to both understand the person and then help them like across this bridge of their fears so they can gently move into a new place so they can be engaged with what you're doing, what you're offering. And it's in order to do that, you really do have to surrender your own wants and needs and really focus on the other person. And it's a real balance because I have this thing that I do that I want to offer. I'd love for you to be engaged in, but I can't think about that right now. I can only think about someone else's needs and helping them. And when someone talks with me about coaching, my focus is to get them coached by me, by someone else, whomever, right? But the reason that they're talking with me is they need that help. And by focusing on offering that help, whoever it is, it turns off that part of the brain that says, what about me? And focuses on what about them. And I've never heard a sales program talk about that because it's a hard sell, right? To get you to buy sales training. But what I found is it's so much more enriching and satisfying. And the people that I train are like, man, I've missed the whole thing about sales up until now because it feels really good to have those conversations. I mean, Gandhi said it the best. He said, if we all knew the joy of service, we would never stop. And helping people, sales, all of these things, moving people into a new space is the ultimate act of being in service.
Yes.
Well, think about sales, right? People, there's two concepts that I see is people either need something or they want something. And people usually buy what they want. Nobody needs a television. Hello, people, right? You don't need, 12 televisions in your house. You can use one, right? And I knew somebody who got divorced and they went out and bought this is back when plasmas were big, right? And they bought a huge plasma in every room in their brand new house.
Oh my God.
And they had because I was that was one of my clients, and she had 12 bedrooms.
Wow.
She lived in a mansion, and she bought a plasma for every room.
Wow.
She even bought plasmas for all her 19 bathrooms.
Oh my God.
And every room that you would walk into was a television, and it made her so proud. And I said to her, what do you really need? I said, do you need to have them all on? Or do you need people to just acknowledge that you have one in every room? I'm like, why don't we open your closet? Is there one in there too? So people, they want something because they want to feel an emotion. They want someone to say to them, good decision. I'm proud of you, right? But she didn't realize that the divorce wasn't the major thing she was challenging with. It was her self-worth.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to be accepted now that she's alone. She wanted to invite everybody to her house and show us all. So she was looking at it in the wrong way. That's one of the reasons I was working with her. But if you look at everything in life, it's either what is it that we want or what is it that we need. We need food, we need water, we need hydration. We don't need liquor. We don't need bad habits like smoking, all these different things. But we want certain things. We do want sweets. We want a cookie. Do you need a cookie? Do you need a cookie?
no.
What are the effects of the cookie? What are the effects of the cookie compared to an apple? So, do you even need the apple? No, but it is nutritional compared to the cookie.
Right.
So, with that in mind, I want to share one thing with you guys. Take a look.
The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event. It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu, Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience, mastermind, where purpose is found.
Woo! Gotta
Exciting.
move, you gotta move.
Gotta move. Love that song.
Love that.
Yeah. Join us in Atlanta. It's going to be so much fun. And we're always, always looking for incredible speakers and incredible people. And Tina, you were at a New York event, right? How was that?
It was awesome. The people that I met, people that I reconnected with, it was really amazing. It was a great, really put together really well. Yes, definitely.
We're only getting better. We're only getting better.
I see that. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a few minutes left, and what I'd love to do is to get each one of you to share why somebody needs to connect with you. And then if you're interested, at 10 o'clock, I'm interviewing somebody on coaching call. So it's going to be a fun one too, right? So let's go ahead and share. Tina, you have reinvented yourself. You are somebody who is creating an opportunity for people to grow with you and grow themselves as a human being, as an entrepreneur, and so forth. Because they're going through what? Transportation. They got on the bus to the train, the bus to the plane, the taxi, back to the hotel, and all these different fun things. So tell us why somebody needs to connect with you.
Well, I think that a lot of us may have lost themselves. They are just in a place of confusion. They're overwhelmed. They're hurting. They're stuck. They are really happy with where they are and whatever journey they're on. And so why they need me is because, like I said earlier, I have the scars to prove that what I've gone through, I can help you navigate it with whatever you're going through. Career, loss, divorce, whatever. You need to heal. You need that confidence. You have those fears. I want you to stop playing small and think bigger, like imagine what's possible. So I can help you really create that vision for yourself and create that future self that you may not see yourself right now. I want you to go from really being miserable, stuck, overwhelmed, and no clarity to really that new version of yourself, that powerful, fulfilled, happy, just being happy with yourself and having that vision that things are possible for you and overcoming those fears. Because that's what I went through. It's those fears and those, oh my God, that confusion, I can't do it, I'm not good enough. Help you go from that to that new person. So that's my goal.
Say your website, because this also will be audio.
Yes, so www.fromjobtojoy.com. I have redone my website, reinvented my website. It is new. There will be a video on my website coming soon of the new Tina. sharing. And yeah, I'm actually doing a talk on June 28th virtually. And it's going to be about, it's a new topic for me called emotional manipulation. How unhealthy love versus healthy love. And so it's going to be a great topic that I'm one of the speakers. There's 7 of us. It's a free workshop on June 28th. And I'm excited about my topic because this is brand new about love, unhealthy love, and how you can be manipulated. So stay tuned.
Thank you, Tina. Absolutely. Dan, you're up, my friend.
Well, you said, why should people connect with me? Or you shouldn't, unless it's something that you really want. And the thing that I've been successful at throughout my career is helping people see a part of themselves that they haven't seen. And it's shocking. Like imagine tonight, you're getting undressed for bed, and you take off your shirt, and there's a Superman logo on your chest, and you realize, oh, I'm not just wearing a Superman shirt. It's not just something I put on. I'm actually Superman. Like, how astounded would you be? And what would you think? Like, wow, so this really opens up a lot of possibilities, and it also opens up a lot of difficulty. Like, how am I going to exist in the world as this person? And that's what I love doing. I love showing people a part of themselves that they haven't seen. That's astounding, and then negotiating and developing a relationship with that part of themselves. So if that's a conversation that you'd like to have, I'd love to have that conversation with you. The easiest way to connect with me is to text the word HELP, HELP, to this number, 213-409-8366. 213-409-8366, and text the word HELP, HELP, 213-409-8366, and book a 15-minute call with me. Now, I can guarantee you at the end of the call, you will not be a client. You will not buy anything, because I'm not here to sell you anything. It's a conversation. And I put this out to thousands and thousands of people. Very few people take me up on this because of the fear of seeing this amazing part of themselves. But it's pretty freaking cool. And, unfortunately, at a stage in my career, I don't need more clients. I don't need, more stuff. I don't need a TV in every room. I only want to connect with people who want to do amazing things in the world and help others. And so that's why I put it out there. So one last time, HELP, HELP, to 213-409-8366. Let's have a conversation.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Everybody make you call them up. Great. Nikki, you're up, my dear.
Thank you, Steve. So I'm Nikki Gangemi, and a good time to connect to me is when you are tired of working so hard. You're doing all the things, you're focusing on behavior and effort, and you're still not getting the results you want. I help people who have that voice that rents space in their head, that gives them all the reasons and excuses for why they can't be, do, or have. I help those high achievers quiet that noise and turn it around so that they become their biggest cheerleader. And you can connect with me on my website, which is www.nikkigangemi.com.
Love it. Make sure you connect with Nikki. Right? Yeah. Definitely. I'm pretty easy to find. I'm Sifu Rafael. That's my website, SIFURAFAEL.com. What can I say? I am the guy who puts a mirror so you can see yourself and see how exceptional and beautiful you are. I either help you get on stages, or I even create the stages for you to get on. So do yourself a favor, connect with me. And if you don't connect with me, that's okay too. Tell somebody else to connect with me. Just kidding there. So do yourself a favor, connect with everybody here, because everybody is an incredible giver. Do me a favor. Share the show with somebody who needed to hear today's message, because today's message was really clear about it's okay, but don't stay where you are. Keep moving, get on that bus, get on that train, transport yourself to tomorrow, because tomorrow is just another beautiful day. But what you do today matters. So God bless you all.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thanks, Sifu.
I got to
Nikki,
boogie
so good to
'cause I
meet
got
you.
my- Take care.
Bye.